Welcome back to episode 3 of the T and Moss podcast. Today, we're diving into JRinkz's origin story. You learned it's episode 4 already? Oh, well, we're not editing that. We're on episode 4 now.
Bloopers.
No need to edit that. Episode 4. When you lose count, makes it even funnier. So, well, I think there's not much time to waste. We can introduce ourselves again if we want. I'm Moss Bros, 24.
ZTZ.
And I'm JRinkz.
Let's get right into JRinkz's origin story. I don't know how you want to start with what kind of got you into gaming.
I guess my very first experience with games, like most people born in the 90s, was dealt around like seeing Pac-Man and Mario. And then beyond that, my very first game was Mario and then the Duck Hunt, because it was the two games on one. What are they even called now? Cartridges?
Cartridge thing?
Yeah. It was the 2-for-1 cartridge, and that was the very first game/system my family ever had. So we would play that downstairs with the orange little gun. I don't know. I thought it was a lot of fun. That was like my very first experience with gaming. And I don't know. As a kid, it was just cool. It was just fun to do something. And as the years went on, I grew up and we kept playing random video games, and then I got an N64. That was like my first real, like really gaming, because we had Mario 64, the classic. We had Mario Kart, just like everyone else, and then we threw in some Star Fox. So those were like the 3 games we probably played the most at my house as a kid. I don't know. They're all just classics. That's kind of where I started at. And then it just slowly evolved. We eventually got a PlayStation 2, and me and my brother loved sports. As you could tell, I got a football jersey on. So I just started playing against my brother because the games got a little more advanced, and it just progressed. We played some Tony Hawk Pro Skater. That shit was classic. Some Pro Skater 2. That shit was the bomb.
Great game.
I remember trying to get those like cartridge things that you have to hit that like big box thing on the bottom of your controller, or I did anyway, to play it.
There were some really weird gimmick things. Like I remember on the N64, the Donkey Kong 64 game would not
Best
work
game ever.
unless you
Best
had
game
that
ever.
specific one red thing that you took out your like memory slot on your N64 because it wasn't even memory, and then you put the other piece in just so it could run Donkey Kong 64.
I tried to find a simulator for that game, but I couldn't.
I don't think I ever played it, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's because your mom had the key under lock. She just snagged it for you if you wanted, but
yeah, she running the movie and video game section. Literally got first dibs at any new video games that came out. That was fun.
It was dope. So then I would go and we'd rent video games off of like the N64 and for PlayStation 2, and I don't know. That was kind of where I started gaming, and then it was one of the, because I'm a very competitive person. If you've watched anything, you kind of have seen that. But it was one of the things I could actually beat my brother in, and so that was one of the reasons that I wanted to get really good, is so I could be better than my brother. And that kind of sparked it. And then eventually, after we got past like PlayStation 2, I played so many sports games back then that it wasn't even, I mean, obviously we played like some James Bond and stuff, but like it was more about sports then.
I feel that, especially PlayStation 2. That's feel like majority.
Majority of the games
Yeah,
on
lots of
PlayStation
Madden.
2 were just like Madden. And then all the NBA and NFL Street, like all those games. Oh my God, those were all classics.
Great games.
And then you think about other classic games like Battlefront 2, or not Battlefront. Well, yeah, it was Battlefront. Sorry, Star Wars. My mind wanted to jump to Battlefield, but Battlefront is right. On the PS2, that game was
so
sick.
much fun.
That was sick. Honestly, that was probably like the first game I ever played where you had soldiers and then you had like a hero or champion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now that I think about it, that was one of the first ones.
Forgot how fun that game was.
Yeah, that was like my first shooter that I like would sweat in, even though it was just completely offline, like against the computers, like.
Oh yeah, right.
Not even playing real people because you had to actually have an Ethernet cord plugged in order to play online. People would
just be on your team.
Mm-hmm. It was a great time. Also, kind of in between that age, I played a lot of RuneScape. Growing up as a kid, me, my brother, and then our two friends who were Lincoln and Connor. They were the same age as my brother, and I just tagged along. But you know, we would go play. Well, we played outside and shit, and we played a game called Mini Baseball, and like, but that's not what this is about. But we would play RuneScape as four of us, and we would just kind of like run around and do shit together. So me and my brother would always be like right next to each other talking in real life playing, and they'd be doing the same thing too. So it was just kind of fun. That was like my first group gaming experience, and I played RuneScape for years. I mean, I was just a little kid. Like I didn't take it seriously. Like I wasn't trying to get 99 everything, but like we all tried to get the 99 wood cutting cape because it was the easiest. Definitely the easiest thing to do because you just AFK, but it was a lot of fun. We'd run around out in the wilderness, just killing people, hunting for stuff. I have fond memories playing that game.
I feel like I need to at least try it once, especially since you both are big RuneScape people. I've never touched it, not even once. I've never downloaded it or even thought about it.
You might get addicted. Let me tell you, you might.
It's one of those games that takes a while to really get going, and like because the end game stuff is so cool, but it just takes so long to get there in like all the aspects of the game. So it's very time consuming, but it can be very rewarding. But basically that was like my first group gaming experience, and it was great. So like obviously it just made me want to play more games with more of my friends. And eventually got an Xbox 360 for Christmas. Me and my brother did. And we had the Halo 3 package. It came with Halo 3 and Gears of War 3. Two amazing games.
Yep.
Two games that had some great multiplayer, even if it was a little toxic for, you know, a 12-year-old. But also, like, we thrived back then people thrived in those situations. So, like, I don't know, it was fun. And then I got addicted to Halo. I just loved playing, you know, multiplayer with my friends. And we'd have full teams of 4 or 8 playing big team. And then we would just ride around doing whatever, just going for stupid stuff. But that evolved into playing like a bunch of custom games with people, and custom games is probably the thing I spent most of my time on. Halo 3 custom games.
Infected or
it was
like that?
It was mixed in between Infected. I mean, there was games like the Ice Cream Man. There was Trash Compactor, where people are just in one tube.
I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, you just drop stuff into the tube and it bounces off a grav lift into people, and the people down below have to avoid it.
Could you make your own like map in that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, that's what me and my cousin.
That's why the new Halo needs a Forge mode. Otherwise, it's gonna fail. I'm just gonna be honest. It is gonna fail from a community standpoint. Because if you let the community start building their own maps and making their own game modes, it's unlimited. And it's not even modding the game because you're using your own. All right. I digress. Sorry.
You're not wrong.
But so we played crazy custom games. My favorite was probably Predator. And like the movie, one person would have a sword and be completely invis the entire time. And then they would also have a Spartan laser. And everyone else, and the entire map was just a maze. It was just a big maze. So you were just trying to run away from the Predator while he's, invis flying around in low gravity, trying to hunt you down. One of my favorite game modes of all time. But yeah, I mean, and then I started playing ranked in Halo 3, and it's like, okay. I hit my skill level of 44, and I was stuck at that for a really, really, really long time. And then I eventually hit 45 in Lone Wolf, and I was just like, okay, let's fucking go. And I don't know, ever since then, I've just always wanted to be a competitive first-person shooter player. I love working on a team, and it was just too much fun. It was too much fun working with your friends and actually being good, considering we were just playing random people. But that was kind of my start.
One of the questions was, what was your favorite game? Would you say it was Halo 3?
Yeah. That's between Halo 3 and Modern Warfare 2. COD 4, the original Modern Warfare, was my very first Call of Duty I owned and played a shit ton. But once Modern Warfare 2 hit, oh my god, that was a whole different monster. I don't know. Can I say 2 games? Can I say Halo 3 and Modern Warfare 2? Because those were
of course.
Yeah.
the 2 best FPS games that I've played so far in my entire life. Modern Warfare 2, yeah, it had a lot of bugs / patches that needed to be made. But also, it was a beautiful game with terrible people. And you know what? It was still a good time, though.
Did you do campaign?
Oh, yeah. The campaign was amazing.
That is, if you look back, though, you, 14-year-old you, when you just enter into the mall and you're like, what am I doing here?
The airport.
Yeah.
Or the airport. Yeah, not the mall. And you're just like,
speak no Russian.
Oh.
My favorite thing about that game that I wish they still did in more Call of Duties now was all the hidden jump spots. They don't have any of that stuff now. They kind of stopped after that. Where on High Rise, where you could literally get on the roof of the one building, but it was not easy. They had a bunch of those on every single map, and
they took those away.
They don't do those anymore.
Yeah. I think Modern Warfare 2 is also the only game that I have won all the gamer score.
Nice.
It's the only game.
Nice.
The one and only game I ever completed the entire gamer score.
For me, it was the Spec Ops. I didn't do the Spec Ops. I did a few of them, but I didn't.
Those.
That's something hard.
My dad would
do.
They were hard because you could do them as a co-op.
Yeah.
They were fun.
The one where you had to do the breaching, that one took the longest. Breaching one. Because you breach, you have to kill all obviously not the civilians, and every time you get to the last one of your buddies, dang, killed the civilian.
I just would repeat the the snowmobile riding ones all the time.
Yep.
My favorite. You guys just riding and just
gunning at them with the MP5 or the just sideways.
And then you make the long jump over the canyon. Great.
For me, the worst one was when you're in the snow as the sniper crawling through the bushes and they have the dogs. That one was the hardest one.
And you have to do the co-op snipe.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and you just.
It was those damn dogs.
Noise, the dogs would just run from behind you.
I was just too impatient sometimes.
He's right there. Let's just get him.
Yeah. It was always the dogs though. They always got me. They sniffed me out. But yeah, Modern Warfare 2, man, that thing was addicting. There were so many, all the way from care package knifing to one-man army noob tubes to finding people that were nuke boosting using their tack inserts. There was just so much. The double rangers, the double models, dude. The fucking legendary shotgun that was so good they had to patch it into the earth. Into the earth.
The
that thing.
The secondary shotguns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was one of the last games.
Literally were snipers.
Yeah, the whatever shotgun shot across the map.
Yeah, that was the models, dude. The 1876 or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, it was too fun. It really was. It was a great time in my life. You were showing up after school, come home, the homies get on. You quick scope to start the day, 1v1 or free for all, depending on how many people were there, and then you just go out and you play ground war until the fucking sun goes down. And it was fun. I know I had so many nukes in that game. I reached 500, and I didn't reach 500 while it was like, I had to come back to the game to hit 500. And but it was wild. I definitely abused one-man army noob tubes. Probably my favorite way to get a nuke was the thermal Barrett 50 cal. Just post it up somewhere, just watching people run down power alleys. You get your 7 kills, call in that Harrier. The chopper gunner / AC-130 is almost a guaranteed nuke.
Mm-hmm.
Not every time, but it was close.
As long as you didn't shoot yourself.
Yeah, as long as you didn't shoot yourself and people weren't like at the ready, just willing to shoot everything down instantly. Those were the worst.
I used to be that guy. I was like, I'm gonna get the cool title for this stinger, and it's like enemy UAV. I'm like, nope,
not today.
Because I hate UAVs. I thought them being with hardline, you can get them at 2 kills. I thought that was the most broken thing in Call of Duty. UAVs should not be 3 kills. I was just like, oh, they could see me now wherever I am, unless you have whatever.
They made it way harder now. It's way harder. Well, now. It's like 5 kills.
I remember
almost always.
Yeah, I remember just like, gosh, I'm just gonna blow up every UAV because they just find me and I just die every time. Like, oh.
Why is this making me want to play some Call of Duty multiplayer?
Because that shit used to be bussin'.
Dude, I honestly would go play some Cold War even.
No, you wouldn't play Cold War. No.
If there was a football on, yeah, probably would.
I'm just saying. I think Call of Duty. Do you think, in your opinion, Call of Duty went downhill from Modern Warfare 2? Or did it go up? Like, obviously,
right away it went
uphill.
I think right away it went uphill.
They took Black Ops.
Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops. Well, Black Ops 1 was okay, but Black Ops 2 was very, very good.
Black Ops 1 was the most dog shit Call of Duty they put out. You couldn't quick scope.
Yeah, that sucked.
The dolphin dive was horrendous. It was useless. It was literally useless. All it did is get you killed.
Oh yeah.
It was good
funny.
going down.
It just looked funny.
It was good going down those stairs and zombies though.
Yeah, all that did was hurt you. It just looked cool.
But so I don't know. The original Black Ops was terrible. It was just a terrible game. You can't tell me anything otherwise. Modern Warfare 3.
It was good. It was good. As good as Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, Modern Warfare 3 was pretty fun. I remember the M14 or whatever was just so broken.
And Black Ops 2 was great.
Yeah.
Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 2 are kind of like everyone's highest pedestal games for Call of Duty of all time. Mm-hmm. They kind of hold those two, 1-2 or 1A and 1B. It's interchanging, just kind of depending on which one you played more. I think.
Yeah, honestly. Well,
kind of just where you.
I don't know. Black Ops 1 just left so bad of a taste in my mouth that even though Black Ops 2 was amazing, it still just gave me that. Because even in well, I can't say this because they didn't fuck up sniping in Black Ops 2, but it was just that change in engine where everything just
Yeah.
felt so weird that I just couldn't quickscope anymore, so I didn't like it.
Yeah, they kind of made that not a thing. Like
Which
you had to.
Everyone
It was a
too
slow
broken.
scope.
yeah, it was a slow scope, and to be honest, that's kind of the whole reason. Like I enjoyed
But
it is because
zombies.
quickscoping is skill. Using
Yeah.
a sniper is skill, and if anyone ever complains about dying to a sniper, grab a sniper and hit your shot then. They're only shooting one bullet. They're not shooting 40. But zombies, that shit's
Yeah.
classic. Zombies
Black Ops 1 Zombies
was great.
amazing.
Is that the transit one?
No, that's 2.
That was
Okay, I don't
that
like
was with the theater, right?
Yep.
The original.
No.
Oh yeah.
Not original, not World at War one, but
Yeah.
that theater one was dope.
The one that I feel like a lot of people think is
That-
the original because they were
Yeah, exactly.
not old enough to be playing World at War.
Exactly. That shit. I play Black Ops Zombies. Perfect. Multiplayer. Throw that in the garbage. But
They had a good campaign.
yeah,
I think the Black Ops 1 campaign was probably one of their better campaigns of the Black Ops that they had.
I would agree.
I don't know. They had a couple guns that I really liked using, but I would agree with without having the sniping, it made it not
Less
feel
fun.
as awesome.
It was just less fun.
But they also had some really, really good maps, is why I think
Well-
people loved it so much.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't that the birth of Nuketown?
Yep.
Like,
Nuketown.
Nuketown 24/7.
Summit.
Mm-hmm.
Firing range.
yeah, they had
Hijack started on 2.
Oh yeah, there
Yeah.
was the firing range.
Hijack was
That used to be
definitely
fun, and then it got really boring.
just because it was always
Yeah,
the
when
map.
they remade it too much.
Yeah,
That's the problem with Firing Range. Is they started to remake that just as much as they were remaking Nuketown.
yeah.
And now they're starting to do the same thing with Hijack. They're starting to remake that just as much.
That's kind of where I started. Was Modern Warfare 2 and Halo was like where my proving grounds. You know, that's where I like tried to show off that I was like super good. And like I said, I hit 500 nukes. I got my 500th nuke literally 2 years ago while I was in my studio apartment. I busted out the old disc and I threw it in the Xbox and I made sure that I hit 500.
Did you have to wait 45 minutes to find a lobby?
In between games? Yeah. The worst part was I still had to get like 3 of them. I still had to get like
Wow.
3 more nukes, so it took me a while, but it was wild. I abused a lot of noob tubes, just shot straight up into the air. Like as soon as you
Did you
spawn in
ever-
on Wasteland, you would bust out the noob tube. You'd find the power wires, and you would just kind of split it, go right over the flag, and boom, you just shoot it. I don't know. When you shoot 2 noob tubes and already have a Harrier, you just go for it. You just fucking, you're like, all right, I'm gonna throw the Harrier out, and then you'd 1-man army up again. You got more noob tubes. You're like, well, they haven't captured A, so I'm just gonna spam it until I kill more people, or they get it. And yeah, I mean, was it cheesy? Yes. I was also like 13. So it was my way of having fun. I still sniped a lot, and like I got other fun nukes. I got care package knifing nukes. I got tack knife nukes. I got one with the double rangers, the double barrel shotties. My favorite one ever was on Quarry, and I did it with only the P2020. Or not the P2020, sorry, the PP2000. I've been playing too much Apex. The PP2000, the full auto machine pistol on Modern Warfare 2, the only one. That was probably my favorite nuke. I just had Scavenger on and like hung out in the middle silo of the map. just hosed people down with my 20 round pistol.
I really like the burst
The
pistol.
Raffica.
I
Yeah,
also in Black
Those are
Ops for
fun.
whatever reason the M16
duels.
was one of my favorite guns.
Always
The
amazing.
M16
Galil.
in
The
that
Galil
game.
is what kind of everyone loves Black Ops 1 for. Is the Galil was honestly so fun.
Yeah, that was also fun. Suppress. I don't know what it
Uh-huh.
was. Suppression in that game was like you were dumb for not having it. I don't know.
Well,
It's
just
the only
it just
game I
made
remember.
the gun feel so much better.
Yeah, because I had the M16 suppress red dot. It was like the 3 brown bursts. Is
That or
like
the,
it was like kill. I'm like, let's
the
go.
Commando.
well, and the
Yeah.
fact that suppressing your gun actually took you off the minimap back then, where if
Was
it wasn't
amazing.
suppressed at all, you would just instantly light up.
And it was quiet, where now it's even the suppressors
Even-
are loud enough that you can still hear.
Hear that they're shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back
it's
then,
so
you
quiet.
legit
That's why I
couldn't
love it.
hear them. So, I don't know. It was a huge change.
Let's see. You covered your favorite game. Your favorite current game.
I don't have one. I'm kidding. I guess as of right now, I've been playing a lot of Valorant. That's been really fun to learn and actually understand. On top of understanding strategies, but being able to run a team, just learning how to lead people in that game and tell them not to boss them around, but be like, all right, we're gonna do this strategy, we're gonna go for this, we're gonna you just kind of lead people and they actually listen to you, and then we all go ham. That's a great feeling. That's a great feeling, whether it's in a game like Valorant, Warzone, Apex. When your team's firing on full cylinders and everyone's popping off, there's literally no better feeling.
Imagine playing a game and your team listens to you and just doesn't call you an idiot.
It's so rare. It's so rare.
Especially now, because everyone
guys,
thinks they're the
we
best.
could actually
Yeah.
do well if we did this. Hey, let's do the opposite. Oh, we lost.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I've been enjoying playing Valorant probably the most out of everything so far, as of late.
I love.
I don't know. It's just something about it.
Who's your legend or who's your character?
I play a plethora of characters. I don't pick duelists, so I don't pick Jett or Reyna. Just because I'm not that good. I'm not bad, but I know how to play a support role. So I do that best. I play Sova. I'll play Viper. I'll play Sage if I have to. I'll play some Sky. Basically, I just try and take control of the map, or at least block off peak points and help my teammate get into the site cleanly. I love playing Omen. Omen was probably the first character I was good at, or I legitimately knew how to play.
I really like Jett.
Yep.
Jet's dope. Everyone loves Jet.
I don't know why.
Man.
I only use Jett to try to do 360 quick scopes with the snipers.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know.
I am so
I don't
bad
know
at that
why.
game. I would get the snipers just so when you do hit them, it feels so good.
I just like because no one else really had a lot of mobility. I felt like Jett, you could dash across the doorway to go to the other side, or you could kind of fly. Whatever. She just felt her mobility. I was like, this is nice.
Yeah.
Everyone else is kind of felt clunky. I don't know.
Yeah. And that's kind of what drew me into that game was it's not CS:GO where everyone's has the exact same thing and is just everyone can have a flash and a molly and
Yeah.
This was more
Sniper.
you have to know what your abilities are and how you have to play your role, which is kind of what made me like so much about the game. Even though you can just be a Sage and just go out there and get 30 kills. You don't have to necessarily play your role if you're good enough, but it helps.
Other questions I have are what kind of got you into content creation and where you plan to go with content creation.
What got me into content creation was Just the fact that we were playing fucking Fortnite with our friends and our other friends that couldn't, like we probably mentioned last episode, our friends that couldn't watch just wanted to watch, so we would just stream it for them off our Xbox. And then eventually we were like, oh wait, there's a chat that people can chat in. And then we started like pulling that up, and we would randomly see people, like we would pull it up on our phones and we would just watch on our phones. And every once in a while we'd see a random person typing in chat and we'd try to talk to them. But like, it was just a different type of stream back then. Weird. No webcams, just straight gameplay off the Xbox One. And
It didn't always run smooth.
No, and then you would only get the voice chat or the voice of you. You wouldn't get the party of like your friends. It was unless
Oh, so you're just talking and no one knows who you're talking to.
They had to.
Exactly.
You had to go opt into being allowing your voice
Mm-hmm.
through Xbox. You had to go.
So
They had to go out of their way to go on to the party chat and go click the button.
so sometimes your friends wouldn't do that, and you'd just be talking to yourself like a crazy person on stream. So
That's all streaming is, though. Talking to yourself.
Yeah,
Yep.
but I mean, yeah,
At least, especially at the
To an extent.
beginning.
yeah. I don't know. That was like the start. That was just kind of the rise of streaming. Honestly, was the around that it blew up around Fortnite, and we were just shocked. We were like, okay, well, all these people are doing this, and we play a lot of video games, so why not stream? Like, you know? And so that's
Exactly.
that was just kind of like the start, and we didn't really care. Like we just kind of did it because we enjoyed it. And
We were playing anyways.
yeah, exactly. And we were like, well, hopefully something cool will happen, and then we could, like, I don't know, it'll just be cool to
Maybe
do it on
someone will
stream.
come watch. Maybe one person will come watch.
Yeah, and then eventually, slowly, people did, and we eventually just learned more about streaming and about like what it actually takes to do it. And I don't want to say how easy it is, because it's not easy to like learn everything and set everything up and have it look clean and like
But once you
understand
have
how to
all that
run
figured
it.
out, to go live is not hard.
To go live is not hard. You're definitely not wrong about that. But it's just like, I don't know. There was just so
To
much.
grow a community is the hardest part.
Yeah.
Discoverability is the hardest part.
And we just didn't like we just didn't know. We weren't really like into it like that. So we were just kind of dicking around. And
Do you kind of wish that you somewhat still had that idea, like you just went live just and had a good time rather than trying to grow as in a community? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
do you wish you kind of just went live and was like, let's just have a good time? You know?
Yeah, it's someday I'm gonna be honest. Some days I'm able to do that. Some days I'm able to just flip it on, and it doesn't matter if I'm playing bad. It doesn't matter, I'm just having a good day. Unfortunately, not all days are like that for me,
Yeah.
so I don't always go live. But at some point, yeah, I do just kind of wish I didn't care about how good I was, because I feel dumb. Like sometimes I feel dumb when I really fuck things up. It's just part of my own self-talk, but like,
Sometimes that makes for the best content when you do some stupid stuff and just kind of make
yeah,
dumb brain mistakes. Like you do something, you're like, why would I do that? And it's just-
exactly.
people think it's hilarious because everyone's been there.
Well, it's
Everyone jumped off a map when they're like,
it's
what am I doing?
It's that
And-
puzzle game where it's literally right in front of you, and you just have to like move the lever or like pull the lever, KRONK, like.
Yeah.
But you're just walking around like, where do I go? What the fuck am I looking for? And it doesn't tell you. And then all of a sudden you turn around and like the lever's right next to the guy you just fought. And you're like, I just can't, I don't know. Sometimes I can't shake those off, but I don't know.
You remember that happened, Pete, where when you go live, you don't care who's there. Are you able to do that most days?
Most days, yeah. I think like I talked about last time, a huge part for me is I turn the viewer count off and just pretend there's that many people in there. Then you're just always like, all right, let's go. Some days, I mean, I'll actually click it on. I'm like, oh, there's like not as many people as you think are in there. That's kind of hard sometimes because you're just like, then you're like, oh, not many people are here. Then you're kind of just talking to yourself. But honestly, just by doing that, I've learned like it's a lot easier for me just from streaming, I guess, in general, to have conversations with people in real
Yeah.
life. Like the other day, I had to work with this coworker I've never met before because she was at a different desk. Because at the hospital, I'm way on the left side of the floor, she's way on the right side of the floor. So I only see my three coworkers like 99% of the time. So I went over there because they needed help, and we ended up talking, and it was crazy story. Real quick, her son actually ran cross country for a school that I grew up in, and I was actually in a lot of her Facebook photos because her kid was like running by me.
Hmm.
Weird.
So it was just like for some reason, like streaming has taught me how to find common ground with people to
Mhm.
have a conversation, even though in streaming they're not there. But like that's something that streaming helped me do in real life. It's kind of crazy when I was like, how do I even think of it? I don't know. It's weird. I like realized that happened.
Me, I going live, I never seem to have a problem with that. Most of my days when I'm going live, I'm just doing it, having fun. I really don't necessarily feel down if there aren't people there because I'm just kind of going, and that's the easy part. It's all of the work I've been doing outside that is so much harder, and the stress and the
Mhm.
we're recording a podcast. Then I've got to edit for a YouTube video. I got to get clips for TikTok. And then I got to post. That's the most stressful part that I've been experienced because it's like if I miss a day, I feel ashamed.
Yeah.
Like I could have done that. Why didn't I just take the 30 minutes and do it?
Yeah.
Where the going live is, I find that the easiest part because I'm playing the game anyways.
Yeah.
I guess for me too, the hard part for me was posting outside of streaming. I don't know why. It was just like the fear of judgment or the fear of it not doing well
Yeah.
or the fear of having negative comments, which that goes with everything, but that's just for me when I started, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to make any outsides. Obviously you need that for growth, but
I've noticed there's more hate through actual beat when you're live than through
And the outside
the outside
postings.
posts. Because the people that are going to be able to find you through discoverability on those platforms are generally like-minded people or are playing or doing similar things as you.
yeah.
So then it's giving people like you the videos and recommending them to you. So you're not going to run into the haters as much there. Or when you're live, the haters are seeking you out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for whatever reason. I don't know, fear of being judged, but then you're like, yeah, everyone else is being judged all the time. So yeah, I'm going to be judged if I don't do anything. I'm judged if I do anything. So I might as well do
Exactly.
stuff.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't. So you might as well fucking
Yeah.
go out and do your best.
Well, back to JRinkz. I guess the only other question that we didn't touch was your gamer tag, and then your first gamer tag, and then your current gamer tag.
My first gamer tag was JRink25. No Z, just JRink25. That was both on RuneScape. Well, that was on RuneScape, and then my very first name on Xbox was Lil Rink 25 because 24 was taken. 24 was taken in both situations, so I had to go with 25 in both. But yeah, that was my very first gamer tag was Lil Rink 25 on Xbox. Cause remember, oh yeah, my brother's gamer tag is Rink Stud. So then if I was a Lil Rink, it was implied that I was a stud too. So it's like, if we ever played together, it just worked. We didn't play together very often. But
You say you guys didn't you share an Xbox?
yeah,
Unless
exactly.
you're going split
Exactly.
screen.
So we couldn't.
Was Modern Warfare 2 was split screen?
I don't believe so. You could go
Nope.
split screen, but not on multiplayer. Black Ops
That
was
was,
one of the games that
I think that was one of the
invented that
reasons
first.
I didn't like Modern Warfare 2 as much because we only had one console in my house, and it was always me and my dad playing together. So when we were playing Modern Warfare 2, it was always when you
Hand off
wanted
the
to play
controller.
online, you had to take turns. so it wasn't as fun. So when Black Ops 1 came out and you could split screen, I think that's kind of what drew me to that game so much, because we were able to split screen.
Yeah.
So then your current one, how did that come about?
I mean, I've been getting called JRinkz. Like I said, my friends Lincoln and Connor, the two of my buddies, me and my brother played video games with. Lincoln was the one that started calling me JRinkz. And as I got older, I was a hooligan, and I got into some shenanigans, and I consumed some beverages. So they said JRinkz drinks. So then I got kind of the nickname of JRinkz, or Drinks if you just read it fast. And
I see what you mean.
I just kind of kept it, and I stuck. And like as I was growing up, I was into hip hop and rap and all that shit. So like obviously Z is cooler than S. So you put the Z on, you know. So the older I got, I kind of made that realization, and eventually I just dropped all the numbers, and I was able to snag just straight up JRinkz on Xbox, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna try and get it on everything now. Yeah, I've been getting called JRinkz since I was a little kid. So it just kind of came naturally.
Nice. Not everyone gets lucky with nicknames like
no
on for your gamer tag.
No.
Yeah.
You're always
normally the nicknames will turn out to be taken or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, how the heck did somebody have this nickname?
Yeah.
No, not a chance.
But it was just kind of weird because it was like, you know, everyone just calls like my dad Rink, and everyone calls like my brother, like all his friends were like, hey, Rinks, you know. So then they were like, oh, Rinks. Oh, that's JRinkz. Oh, that's JRinkz. Because I was just always around because I just tagged along with my brother. Yeah, it was kind of weird, but I'll take it. It's definitely a better nickname than some. So.
True.
Yeah, you're right.
You could have been stuck with an insulting nickname, or just a completely random one. You know how kids are.
Yeah, I mean, at least my name isn't like the Poopies channel or something. That's a real channel, by the way.
I guess that's kind of all the questions I had kind of written down going into it. Unless you have any questions, T.
I was gonna ask, favorite Madden game growing up that you ever played? Favorite Madden game? I mean, not like I'd say between like the years 2000 and 2000.
Does it have to be Madden, or can it be any football game?
Let's do Madden and then any football.
I believe
I'm just curious.
I can't remember if 08 or the one that had Palomalu and Larry Fitz on it. I can't remember if that was 09
that was
or
11.
08.
That was 11.
Oh, geez. All right.
8 was Vince Young.
Okay.
Yep.
Honestly, I think I'm gonna go with the one that had, I believe it was Madden 04. Had Mike Vick on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
For the PlayStation 2. That was probably the one I played the most. And
QB sneak every time.
No. I had one play. I literally had one play. I could tell you exactly what everyone did on it. We had the offset eye, so I had my running back straight behind me. We had the fullback offset on the right side, also in the backfield. We had what was his name? Roddy White way out left. He's running a post route. We have Algie Crumpler, tight end right. He's gonna just run a fade. And then we got, I don't know who the receiver was on the right, because I didn't throw to him very often. But he would just kind of slash across the middle of the field about 10, 15 yards deep. And then I would have my running back, Warwick Dunn, and he would swing out to the right. And so I could I'm Mike Vick, I can scramble to the left, or I can just dump it off to my running back and have him go, or I can throw deep to either the one guy slashing on the middle or the guy going out to the right that's kind of alongside, and then you have the one cross. I literally ran one play, and I would either throw the ball to Warwick Dunn, Algie Crumpler, Roddy White, or I would just run the ball with Mike Vick every single time. One play, and I would still beat people. Because you couldn't stop Mike Vick. Mike Vick was too good. He was literally one of the best players ever put in a sports video game.
Mm-hmm.
That year's Mike Vick. That was it. That was probably my favorite like Madden of that era.
What about any other game? Any other football game?
Any other football game? Madden 13. Madden 13 was definitely balanced. You could be great on both offense and defense. The computer didn't do you any favors unless you got lucky. Yeah, I mean it was just based around what the user did on the field. If you played great defense and you knew how to switch or play as a good linebacker, you probably picked off a lot of slants or just random passes or just read the quarterback. I loved Madden when the player has to do the hard work and the computer just kind of helps you. But when it's the opposite way around, like in the past 2 years of Madden, 3 years of Madden, where it's not necessarily about the player's skill, it's just about your players.
Animation and overalls.
Yeah, it just kind of gets annoying, and it's like, well, now if I'm going to play Ultimate Team, I just have to grind my life away, or I have to pay crazy amounts of money just to get screwed over by someone who spent even more money and still has even better cards.
Yeah.
Like,
I was wondering that. So I haven't played Madden for a long time. But yeah, I've heard a lot of people that are like, oh, I spent a lot of money at Madden. And when I remember playing when I was a kid, I'm like, oh, what do you buy? Like, what do you buy? In Madden?
Packs.
player packs.
Oh, okay. It is pack. Okay.
It's EA, so it's gotten really bad where to get any sort of coins, you either have to play for 10, 15 hours a day or open packs and spend money where you can get the money then.
Or you
it's
do
not
the really hard / weird thing, and you sit there and you flip cards on the auction site for literally hours.
yeah.
Like that Madden, you cannot make money in, or like a gold in, or whatever you want to coins.
Yeah, now especially now they added the training currency where
When you
even now if you try quick selling cards, it goes to your training, which you then have to spend to either
level people
upgrading
up.
your players or it's kind of crazy. I do have a kind of funny story with Madden 08. That was one of the first Madden games I think we ever got for my family at our house. And we didn't pay for it. So they ran a promotion through Mountain Dew where if you would enter the code on the inside of the cap on Madden's website, it would give you run a play, and if the play scored, you got a prize, and if the play failed, you didn't get a prize. So literally, my dad and I would go around to everyone we knew, or if we find any Mountain Dew bottle anywhere, we'd take the code from it. Like, we have a friend drinking Mountain Dew. When they finish, we're like, hey, can we have that cap?
Mm-hmm.
Or, hey, can we at least get that code and write it down? And then my dad would literally get all of his coworkers at work just to give him the caps. And then he would just plug them in on at lunch.
Well, especially the dudes that work out at Superior be chugging Mountain Dews sometimes. So
yeah, he works in the office with a lot of guys, and yeah, they put down Mountain Dews. So one of them, he got it. It was everyone I ever did turned into like a tackle for loss, and you got no reward. I think he told me it was like his guy was running and he fumbled and he thought it was over, and then someone else picked it up and ran it in. It was like literally just a random play for you. So, and then they ended up shipping the game to our house. So it was kind of cool.
That's nuts.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, that was probably of those Maddens my favorite. Just kind of that whole story.
Yeah,
makes it better.
That's a hell of a way to get it.
So, what your future plans are for content creation? My
future plans are basically just to stream, and put out videos on YouTube, and put out side video, like small videos, like YouTube Shorts and Instagram like Reels and highlights and just things kind of along that nature. I don't know. I'm working on, how do I want to say this? I don't know. I'm just working on a lot of different skills that are involved in video editing and like animation and stuff. So I'm working on a lot of skills to try and produce stuff from in-house so that way I can make it myself. I don't have to pay other people to do it for me, or like, it's just nice to learn and know how to do stuff yourself rather than flounder and not learn at all. It's better to learn how to do it a decent job than not even understand it. So,
because you never know what you may run into that you want to do or have an opportunity for. So it's nice to at least have an idea, so you're not going in blind if you do run into any of those opportunities. Because I know, like, you've worked on editing videos, you've worked on creating emotes, you've worked on creating logos and overlays, and just kind of touched on all that stuff. I know you didn't necessarily broaden, but
yeah,
you've made some cool things. That you made almost all my emotes, and I know you have made your overlays, and they look good.
Yeah, I like I say, it's just I want to be able to make my own stuff and just know what I'm doing. I really just want to know what I'm doing, honestly. I'd rather, like I said, I'd rather mess up and like have it take a little extra, but for me to fully understand how it all works is kind of like, I'm not OCD, but like I need to know how it works if I'm going to do it. That's just kind of how I have to go about things.
I'd say that's it for this episode. Feel free to, if you're on YouTube watching, all of our links will be in the description for all of our social medias, our Twitches, our Twitters, as well as the podcast Twitter and TikTok. If you're still listening, would love a like and subscribe if you're on YouTube, or just download on Spotify or wherever else you're listening. I appreciate it and hope everyone has a good day.
Hope you all enjoy your evening.